their first language. So I didn't really understand what they were saying in the first place. It was a Goodreads review. And it was saying that I'm not sure what a mystery means. They were just confused by the word mystery. Well, I'm at a loss too. So I couldn't even really help you with that because I don't know what the problem is. So that's why I sort of like took it as we all are judged by others, no matter what our profession is. You can run with it in one way or you can run with it in the other way. Sometimes it's constructive and you feel like, okay, these are things I should be working on. Maybe I could do better in this area. And then some people just really let it get them really, really down. And then some people get really upset and angry. So that was the inspiration for it. The reaction to another person's view of you from afar, which is such a weird thing that we do constantly all day long online. That's where it went from. But nothing personal. I don't have that. It's not me.
Have you ever had a bad review of your cooking?
No, I actually haven't. Only from my 9-year-old who doesn't like anything.
They're hard to please.
No, that's the most ironic thing because I can make anything and he won't eat a thing and he thinks everything's gross. Just doesn't like everything. And it's like, oh, your heart breaks a little. I know eventually he will eat more than a couple of things and I can't wait for that day to happen. In cooking professionally, I've never had anyone say anything to me about food that wasn't great. I worked in a restaurant in college and I remember one time I started out working on salads. I was really young, like 19. And they put you there because you can't really mess up a salad too bad. And then through the years, I graduated to working the grill and I was running the kitchen. We would take turns running the kitchen each night, which means you basically are expediting food. You're standing in the window and you're calling out the orders for the meals and you're making sure everything arrives at the right time and those kind of things. One time I had stepped away to go to the bathroom and I came back and somebody had sent out a plate of chicken wings and there were feathers on them. Came back, I got talked to by the manager. I wasn't here. He's like, you just have to wait till the end of the night to go to the bathroom. I'm like, okay, I guess I won't ever do that again. But that was the only time I ever really got in trouble. But it wasn't something I had made. It was something that slipped by me out the window. But yeah, luckily, only from my family and in a loving way.
They do grow out of that.
I sure do hope so.
What do you like most about writing cozies?
I've thought about this for a long time, and I think it's such a popular subgenre of mystery. Kind of going back to the golden age when people first started writing the Agatha Christie kind of books, everything was going so crazy in the world with the wars. It was just nice to be able to sit down and read a story and be able to solve it and have some justice at the end. I think that carries through to today, especially like right now. We're in this mess that's happening and it's very scary and I know I'm anxious, and if I'm anxious I know a lot of people are because I'm usually the one that's like everything's going to be fine. I'm more of like a charge forward kind of calm person. When things are tough in the world around us, it's really comforting to go to a fictional world where you kind of know nothing that terrible is going to happen. There's always a murder or two in the books. Cozies, there's never really anything really, really graphically violent on the page. Nothing really awful is happening, if you know what I mean. It's like a safe place to go and then you can help solve the crime because you're kind of like along with the amateur sleuth. They're not police. It could be your aunt that you're doing knitting with and you go off and let's figure this out. So I think that's what the appeal is, and that's why I enjoy writing them, because it's sort of like I can picture myself doing this and try to never have Penelope, my main character, do anything insanely crazy that I wouldn't do. I mean, you have to stretch belief in certain areas because she keeps running into dead people everywhere she goes. So that part you have to stretch. Try to make it as fair play to the reader as possible and enjoyable to the reader. And you want there to be some stakes involved and you want them to care about the characters and want to get involved in solving the crime. I do for my readers. That's the appeal for me. I think it's a nice, fun, if you can talk about murder being a fun thing, it's a nice, comforting place to go and solve a puzzle with characters that you've fallen in love with over the length of the series.
And a lot of times the victim is a lousy person to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's not usually the nice people that get it in the end. I love the closed community of a small town. There's secrets lurking in all these different shops, people that come in and out of the town. Everyone has secrets and a hidden past. Some of those things are worth killing somebody over if they're going to get exposed. It's a lot of fun to kind of unravel the puzzle each time. That's what I like about it the most.
There's an old adage, write what you know. Since you have been a movie set caterer and your heroine in the Red Carpet Catering Mysteries series is the same, are there any juicy stories that you have from actual catering careers that Penelope Sutherland faces in the series?
I wish there was some really big incident that I could say. The main thing that I try to put through in the books is the reality of how long of a day and how hard of a job it is to cook for other people professionally, especially on this movie set, because you're working at least 12 hours. I mean, that's a short day. So you're working at least 12 hours, more like 16, depending on the day. And when you're feeding 300 people at a time, they come through all at once. So you're just running around getting everything ready, and then they all come through, and then there's a lull time, but that's when you're cleaning up and getting ready for the next meal, because they usually eat twice a day. So it's just a huge amount of physical work, just the interaction with all those people all day long. And I'm assuming not many films are being filmed right this moment, because it's such a crush of humanity in one little space usually during the time that you're filming. And then it's also just the different jobs that happen on the set, and I try to highlight the different careers that take place throughout the movie industry. There are the stars and the executives and things, but there are also people that cook, and there's people that are set builders, there's carpenters, there's electricians, there's lighting people, there's massage therapists. So there's like this little world that kind of convenes to make this art project happen. That's the pieces that I always try to bring in, just the reality of how it works. That part is really fun, and that's what I do remember from being on the set. Not too many murders happen when I was doing it in real life.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, only on the screen. In one movie, the actors did get into an accident, but it wasn't when we were working. They were doing reshoots of some scenes out in LA, and she was involved in a car accident and was injured, and it was on the Entertainment Tonight one night. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was thinking to myself as a mystery writer, like, ooh, was it really an accident? Or was trying to bump her off because they wanted the role or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was like your brain kind of goes there when you're a mystery writer. Nope, just taking the inspiration from the vibe on the set, which is frenetic and busy and exhausting and fun. We always had loud music playing, and there was a team of us. You're just on a crew, and you either get along, you don't get along, but most of the time you get along. You're working in close quarters, like a food truck, basically.
You're exposed to so many new people that it gives you a lot of good backdrop.
Exactly. I could write for years, though. But yeah, that was a good question. That was the inspiration there. But it was a lot of fun. I look back fondly on those times. It's not a good job to have when you have children, because you're never home. You know?
Yeah.
But it was fun at the time.
Well, we were very disappointed that Malice was canceled this year.
Yeah.
Can you give us any insights and plans for next year?
Yes. So with the current environment, as we all know, it gave us an option to pick another date. It was kind of soon to now, and we were thinking, well, just it's too much to gamble to try to reschedule everything and get all the guests here again. It's a giant ship to move just to several weeks later. So we are planning on having a huge Malice 32/33. We're going to have a supersized double Malice. So all of the honorees for this year, we're not going to miss out. They're still going to get honored next year. Again, with the people that we're already honoring for next year, that will be coming, which is still a secret. We haven't announced those yet. Just going to be a big, gigantic weekend, and we're talking about how we can stretch it out, maybe add a day on the front end. So we're still in talks about how we're actually going to pull all of it off, but we will do it. And we're very hopeful that everything will be smoothed out and ready to go by next year in the world, you know. But when you think about a giant event like ours, I mean, we have hundreds of people coming into one hotel. There's that. But then there's just everyone is coming from somewhere, and we have international travelers. We have cross the country travelers. I mean, they're coming from everywhere. There's no way it would happen that soon. That was unfortunately where we had to make the choice. We love our Malice family, and we want them all to be back. And I think they will be. I think everyone's going to come back and have a really good time. And God willing.
Well, I'm glad that the honorees from this year will be noted next year, too.
Yes.
They will still be voting this year, and the winners will be announced this year. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah. And our chair, Rena Rose, and our Agatha chair, Cindy Silverblatt, and possibly one or two other board members, they're working on doing like a Zoom presentation. They want to do like a live presentation of the awards and the announcement of the winners online, so everyone can participate. Yeah, so they're working on the technology of what would be the best platform for us to use that most of our attendees can take part in. So that's what we're talking about now, but they do want to make it an event, but it's going to be online. There's going to be online voting, similar to how we do the nominees, but I'm not sure exactly. There's going to be something along those lines, and then they'll tabulate the winners, and then they're going to make an announcement. And at that time, which they're going to do it on the same night it would have been, so probably it's May 1st, whatever the banquet night would have been. And then they're going to announce the honorees for next year, also announce the new Malice Anthology theme. And the Malice Anthology, which was due to come out at Malice, was pushed to July just because of everything that was happening. Everything got crazy. So, but it is still going to come out this year. So that's a good thing with Wildside Press. It's all for the good. We're going to do our best to make it really, really fun next year.
The important thing is that people be safe. I'm glad to hear that you did go ahead and cancel, even though it is disappointing. Then people just don't even have to make that decision.
Absolutely. And it's stressful for me and for everyone, I'm sure, just kind of like have a question mark hanging out there. So it's just much better in my mind just to say, okay, now that's done. I don't have to dwell on that. Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Am I going to be able to go? I'm putting myself in the minds of people attending. I would obviously have to be there, but it takes that question away for everyone and just like, here's what we're doing. Here's the thing. Let's just all be safe and let's just take care of each other. And that's the main thing. And that's what the decision was really born out of. I'm glad. I'm going to miss everyone. I've been to 18 in a row of Malice's, and this is my 17th year on the board, so it'll be the first one I've missed in 18 years. But I'm not really missing it. I'm just
That's right.
No, it's just not there this year.
I'm just not going to physically be at the hotel, but I'll still be celebrating Malice that weekend, and we'll do some fun things online, and it'll be fun. Thank you guys for your continued support. Really appreciate it.
We are huge fans of the mystery world, but especially Malice. It has a special place in our heart.
Oh, well, we can't wait to see you again next year.
Absolutely.
Do you have any new books in the works?
I'm writing the next one in the series, which I've called Murder on the Side. So the Murder That I Talked About came out last fall, and I'm finishing up this one, which I really, really love. And then I'm also working on writing. I'm almost finished with it. Standalone, more domestic suspense kind of thing. That would be just a book that's on its own, which I'm really enjoying, just sort of doing something different. I just got this idea for a book, and I thought I'm just going to sit down and write this. It didn't fall in with my series ideas, and I just thought, let me work on this project on the side with all my spare time. And I will do that. And I'm writing several short stories for different anthologies this year, which is exciting. Yeah, so that's what I'm working on. I'm never not writing something, because I write, and then I get to work for Malice and be in the Malice world, and then I get to do editing for other people, and I'm very, very lucky to be able to do my dream job from home these days, too. When they cancel school for the whole year, it's like, okay, home now, so I'm just going to learn how to be a homeschooler, so that's what we're working on this week. I mean, I'm so fortunate because I know other parents are struggling with who's going to do what, and what is my job doing, and luckily we have that piece sort of sorted out. It's got its advantages and disadvantages, because, you know, you kind of miss out on society sometimes. We're all kind of figuring out the new way to go.
The new normal.
Yeah. If we just keep it together, we'll be okay. I think, you know, mentally, most of us.
Well, Shawn, do you have a website so our listeners can check your books and all about you?
Yeah, it's just my name, ShawnReillySimmons.com. And there's me, and I have links to my books and my short stories, events that are not all happening, but they're there.
That's why we didn't ask you about events.
Yeah. I will be at my desk for 3 months at least.
I will be in the living room next, and then maybe in the bedroom.
I might go in the bedroom later to take a nap. I'm not sure. Keep you posted. I'll probably go in my backyard, because we have our own little back space with a really nice patio, and I do like to work out there when the weather warms up. So I am looking forward to the nicer weather so we can sort of have our outside the house times.
Yeah, not this weekend. It's yucky.
Well, Shawn, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
We're sorry we won't see you at Malice this year, but we look forward to next year.
Absolutely. We're really going to be missing each other by then.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be a nice reunion for everybody.
It will do. But you guys stay well and stay safe. And
You and your family, the same.
thank you so much.
Wash your hands.
Yeah. Let's all wash our hands together
Yeah.
and sing.
All right. You take care, Shawn.
All right, ladies, have a wonderful rest of the day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
It was a very good, concise story, revenge, and it
Love triangle.
was a lot of different elements in there.
Very compact story. And there was a lot going on in there.
I think that shows talent, really,
yeah.
to be able to tell a story in such few words.
Let me just say, if I had to tell that story, even if I was speaking it, it would have taken me 3 hours to do. Just ask my husband.
We wish Shawn all the best. Good luck with her Agatha nomination.
And good luck with planning next year's.
Double Malice. Our new and noteworthy books this week.
First up is David Baldacci's Walk the Wire. It's the 6th in his Amos Decker mystery series. It is published by Grand Central Publishing and will be available April 21st. Amos Decker, the FBI consultant with perfect memory, returns to solve a gruesome murder in the booming North Carolina oil town.
Book I have is by Alexander McCall Smith, and I always love looking forward to his titles. This one is called The Talented Mr. Varg. In the second installment in the best-selling Detective Varg series, Ulf and his team investigate a notorious philanderer, a wolf of a man whose bad reputation may be all bark and no bite, and that is put out by Pantheon Books and comes out April 28th.
And I have The Lost Boys of London by Mary Lawrence. It is the very last. It's number 5 in her Bianca Goddard series. Bianca Goddard uses her skills as an alchemist to help the sick and to find justice for the Dead. It comes out April 28th by Kensington Press. Trivia!
Last week's trivia question was,